Welcome, everyone. Let's get into the fascinating world of soulmates and the many shades of love. You know, when we talk about soulmates, it's not just about fairy tale infatuation. It's about understanding different phases in a relationship, from that lightning infatuation to the deep, mature,
Yeah,
inspired love.
right. It's intriguing how the concept of soulmates has morphed over time, isn't it?
Absolutely. And one of the most memorable examples is that story of Sean Cassidy. I mean, think about it. A 13-year-old girl, her room filled with Tiger Beat photos, dreaming of a perfect love, only to realize later that the excitement was more like a passing infatuation than a true
Exactly.
soulmate connection.
That really sets the stage, doesn't it? It challenges how we view first crushes and even later relationships. What do you think makes that infatuation phase so captivating?
Well, it's like, um, you know, during the infatuation phase, everything is intense and obsessive. It's that heady mix of biochemistry and dreams. It's thrilling. And yeah, the research even ties it to things like the prairie vole, which forms lifelong pair bonds because of chemistry. But when it comes to humans, it's more
Right.
complicated.
Interesting you mentioned that, because the idea of infatuation lasting about 18 to 24 months always puzzled me. It's like once the initial spark dims, we start to question if we really found our soulmate.
Exactly, and that's when many couples, perhaps, move into what's been termed as the marriage ink phase. This phase is like, when passion gets replaced by daily life. The bills, kids, careers, and all that. The romance can sometimes get lost in the transition from passionate love to managing a
Yeah,
household.
absolutely. I appreciate that analogy, like running a business rather than nourishing a love affair. But don't you think for some couples, that phase can lead to unexpected deeper bonds despite the routine?
Definitely. And that's where things get really
Right.
interesting. Many couples use that period as a foundation building stage where they need to actively work on reconnection. When the everyday grind takes over, you sometimes find a quiet disillusionment where you might even question, is this really my soulmate?
I love that thought of questioning that label and then working to recreate the connection. It makes me wonder how couples can push past that phase. What's our next step towards a more lasting bond?
That perfect segue leads us into what many experts call the inspired love phase. This is the stage where, and I mean this, where couples actually work to transform their relationship, fueling it with passion, understanding, and a sense of mutual
Yeah,
growth. It's no longer about waiting for the magic of the first love. It's about intentionally cultivating inspiration day after day.
I find that transition really empowering. But wouldn't you say that not all relationships manage to ascend to that inspired love phase? Some might settle into the routine without making that leap.
You're on point there. It's a challenge, and some might argue that expecting every relationship to evolve into inspired love sets up unrealistic standards. However, by practicing what some call the three keys to passion, couples can consciously rejuvenate their connection. Think of it like renovating a house that's been lived in for years. It takes effort and creativity.
Yep, absolutely. And it's fascinating how this remodeling of a relationship aligns well with the research-based work from the Gottman Institute and experts like Cheryl Fraser. It really gives a framework for what real long-term love looks like.
Right, exactly. Their approach isn't about that whirlwind passion. It's about building trust, commitment, and even managing the ebb and flow of, intimacy and passion. In fact, many couples benefit from tools such as relationship quizzes and guided digital programs.
Speaking of tools, what's your take on those products like the Gottman Relationship Advisor and Relationship Coach? Do you think they really channel these ideas into practical steps?
Oh, definitely. It's like these products offer a structured way to navigate the complexities of modern relationships. They help couples measure their relationship health and then work on those specific areas, be it emotional connection or the thrill factor that sometimes fades after the early
Exactly.
years.
That's crucial because many couples might remain in that marriage ink phase indefinitely, feeling stuck or even drifting apart without tools to revive their connection.
Right. The idea is that while you initially might have felt the gush of infatuation, think, that Sean Cassidy admiration, it's essential to move beyond that, embracing real connections that evolve over time. The inspired love phase, as they put it, is your ongoing journey with your partner.
Yeah, I agree, but I do have a little critique. Don't you think sometimes people romanticize the idea of a perfect transformation into inspired love? Not every practical relationship will look like a movie montage of deep understanding.
That's a valid point. It's important to note that the transformation is not instantaneous. It requires consistent effort, patience, and sometimes professional guidance to navigate challenges. And yeah, while the concept of becoming true soulmates is aspirational, the reality is every couple's journey is uniquely imperfect.
Right, exactly. And I think that's what makes the discussion so real. It's not about finding a flawless partner, but about growing together through life's ups and downs. How do you think couples can make that leap from routine to inspired love?
Well, a key aspect is shifting the focus from expecting your partner to complete you to working on filling each other up. It's an active process. Understanding that love isn't static. It ebbs, flows, and morphs alongside the changes in your life. You have to continually invest in each other.
Yeah, exactly. That reminds me of the analogy, kind of like renovating a relationship home where every renovation project, big or small, strengthens the foundation. And sometimes that might even mean seeking external support, like relationship workshops or even televised advice.
Right, and that brings us to the role of experts like Dr. Cheryl Fraser, whose work combines academic credibility with straight talk. Her no-nonsense approach to love and intimacy emphasizes that while the idea of a soulmate might be appealing in our youth, in adulthood, it's about making a choice to continually nurture a partnership.
Yeah, I love that perspective. It demystifies the whole soulmate myth, making it far more accessible and real. But I'm curious, how does one balance the yearning for that initial spark with the practicalities of, say, everyday married life?
Good question. It's like you have to honor the passion you once had while growing new sources of connection. That means actively scheduling time for romance, communication exercises, and even date nights that intentionally focus on rediscovering each other rather than just routine responsibilities.
Right. That sounds like a blend of art and science, the kind of balance the Gottman method is known for. In your view, does every couple have the potential to reach that inspired love phase?
Virtually, yes, but it definitely takes commitment and an honest look at one's own expectations. The article we're discussing really underscores that the unrealistic soulmate template can become a barrier. Once couples work to rewrite that thermostat, to accommodate imperfections and life transitions, they open up to a more authentic connection.
Absolutely. And that rewriting of expectations might also explain why, for some, the so-called soulmate is not a pre-existing perfection, but rather the outcome of growth, challenges, and shared vulnerabilities. Would you agree?
Exactly. It's like we're constantly co-authoring this evolving narrative of love. Each shared hardship, every triumph, adds a new chapter. The idea of a completed soulmate just falls apart under the reality of life's messy, beautiful nature.
Yeah, that's so refreshing to hear. It really demystifies the notion of soulmates for adults, making it less about a predestined, flawless unity and more about continuous mutual work. And it gives hope that even if your initial fire dims, you can, in fact, find renewed inspiration in your partner.
Absolutely. And on a practical note, it's encouraging to know that there are resources, like online courses, relationship assessments, and even immersive workshops that are designed to help couples navigate these transitions effectively.
Right. I think that really wraps up our discussion on the multifaceted idea of soulmates. It's a journey from the idealized infatuation to a more grounded, mature, inspired love that, while challenging, is attainable with effort and the right mindset.
Indeed, and it all comes down to rethinking what we expect from love and being open to, evolving together over time. With that, let's encourage everyone to reflect on their own relationships. Acknowledge both the excitement of early love and the deep, enduring bonds that can prevail with commitment.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Embrace the journey, imperfections and all. Thanks for the engaging conversation.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Remember, love isn't just about finding your soulmate. It's about creating that connection every single day.